doing the throwback review for Resident Evil. Came out March 15th, 2002. Watching it now, it's weird because certain parts of the movie age decently. You're kind of like, oh yeah, like those weapons I could believe, and you know, kind of like the wristy tech stuff. But then some of the effects were kind of like early college level. Like you had a bunch of compositors and animators, and they're like, okay guys, we got to make a monster for this movie, but we've only got like $1,000 to do it. How can we pull it off? The main monster villain, certain scenes he looked fake, other scenes he looked really real. They just didn't really find their balance, I guess. I noticed too with the first movie, they did a lot of off-screen violence. Like it was happening, but at the same time you didn't actually see it. Like in the very beginning when the chick gets her head decapitated off the elevator, you don't see that. And I think that makes it more scary because you're like, this elevator is like gonna kill you, and you hear it, but you don't see it. So your mind, you know, goes to that far place, especially when one of the Umbrella member squad guys comes in, JD, and he gets eaten by the zombies. You don't actually see him get eaten. You see the horde kind of get on him, and you see like their hands on the camera, and his hand goes up, and he's like doing this. That's it. You don't see it. So then your mind's like, they're fucking him up. They're straight up like, ah.
Not a movie I was particularly looking forward to seeing, and I guess that's why it took me about 15 years to do that. But I actually did enjoy the film. I felt like it was a well-crafted thriller, mystery, horror, sci-fi film. Has a lot of elements of all of those. I felt like it was very successful at achieving that goal. It's a pretty low budget film. That's a little bit apparent, mostly just if you compare it to films of this day and age. But they utilize it well by not always putting everything on the screen, leaving it a little bit up to your imagination.
Yeah, I actually saw this movie when it first came out 15 years ago. Being a big video game fan myself, I rushed out to see this. I enjoyed it then. Watching it again, I enjoyed it again the second time. I didn't remember a whole lot from it going in. I mean, it's been 15 years. I enjoyed it the second time around. It is a extremely low budget film. I don't know if I noticed it the first time around because I didn't recall that going in, but you can really see the age in this movie. It has CG that I just assume they did it on like a cardboard computer. It's just really, really bad. Environments though, for what they had, I think they did a great job. There's a lot of different locations in the film where you kind of look around, and I think someone made the comment that they used a lot of dryer tubing. You kind of see that kind of stuff if you look for it, but overall, I think it looks really good. I think they did an excellent job with what they had, and I admire filmmakers that do this. They take a low budget and they kind of shoot for the stars anyway.
Honestly, watching it now is kind of a lot of fun because you're kind of like, oh yeah, you know, like that's a fake scare, jump. Like the first 20 minutes had a lot of that jump scare thing, and after about the 20th minute, you're like, nothing's gonna really scare me now because I've got them all out. The laser beam thing, that's impressive. The early 2000s, this beam cutting people up, the way they blended stuff, I was just kind of like, I don't know what was prosthetic, what CG, what's the like, we're gonna put green around your hand kind of thing. Dialogue, kind of cheesy. Thomas Jane, not at his finest, I'll have to say. Mila Jovovich, hot as ever. Like, let's be real here. Like, she is delicious. Red dress, the boots. The first one was more creepy. It really had a creep factor to it. And then as the movies evolved and progressed, they became more explosions and action and gunfights. And so, I don't know, for me, watching this one now, it's kind of like, it has the feel of what you would want, kind of like in a horror-esque kind of movie. The scares are there. The feeling of helplessness is there, that I'm underground and I've got all these monsters and things trying to get at me and I have to get to the surface. But if I get scratched or bit, I'm done. So the movie is fun.
It also has a pretty interesting premise. It's sort of a female Jason Bourne in the robot murder building. There's a lot to be had in that premise. We also get to enjoy Michelle Rodriguez as pretty much the character that she's best at, which is playing the kick-butt mercenary that, you know, doesn't take crap from anybody, stares him down, and she's really good at what she does, essentially. The music, not really to my taste. Marilyn Manson, really not my style. Definitely trying to give me a headache. Minor grievances against a generally good film that still holds up pretty well all these years later. 8 out of 10 for me.
The characters are fantastic, just as they have been for the ones that are still there have been for the next 6 movies. The story itself is interesting. It is kind of twisted and turny. It has a lot of surprises in the story. I feel that this movie was made to be self-contained. They just ended up getting sequels. I don't think the long haul was thought about in this movie. And after seeing the last movie, which you can watch our review for on this channel, I could definitely even stronger believe that they didn't plan ahead. A lot of movies from that era, especially movies that are in quote-unquote genres that aren't extremely popular, popular, like video game movies, for example, tend to not hold up very well. You watch them and you go, oh my god, why did they make this movie? Resident Evil is not one of those movies. I feel that it held up very well. I liked it. Even being someone that does not like horror movies, I did enjoy this movie. I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the plot. I enjoyed the characters. Everything was believable enough for me to get involved and not get too out of immersion. The aspects of the movie with the bad CG and some of the special effects, it's obvious. I don't think it hurt it that bad.
For a rating for me, this is gonna be a little weird. I know, this brain of mine. I'd give this a 7.5 out of 10. Like, it was an enjoyable movie. It was really fun kind of getting to go back. Like, I was in high school when it came out. I was a freshman, so I was like, oh, you know. I would recommend if you kind of want like just a decent video game kind of movie, like here, Resident Evil. That or Tomb Raider, but Resident Evil. Don't waste your time with Doom. Don't waste your time with Max Payne. Don't waste your time with Super Mario Bros. Unless you want a good laugh, watch it drunk. Drink responsibly. Go on ahead and like this video and favorite it. Subscribe to this channel for more throwbacks like this, plus movie reviews, unboxing videos, etc. It's all coming at you this year. Go on ahead, again, suggestions, throw them down there. If you want to really see us review something that you want to see what our opinions are, throw it down there. We'll do it by all means, and we'll even mention your YouTube name by name. I remember, guys, you heard it here at The Source.